So, is poverty in the United States and racism and segregation the result of President Obama being a Marxist? I don't think I'm misrepresenting my guest's position. I may be. I'm going to have to get Eric back to dig a little deeper into this and trying to figure out what, because I still am a bit confused. But Carl in Milford, Massachusetts. Hey, Carl, you have some thoughts on this?
Tom, how are you? Yes, I do. I'm a longtime Marxist. I'm in my 70s. I've studied
You're a real
Marxism.
Marxist.
I'm a real Marxist. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't recognize anything that Eric gentleman said about a Marxist.
Yeah.
Marxism is the study of Karl Marx.
Yes.
And he had an analysis of capitalist society that's been pretty good.
Yeah, I think his critique of capitalism that you can read in Das Kapital was actually one of the most accurate analysis of at least free market capitalism that's ever been done. I disagree with some of his solutions, but I think that his analysis was spot on.
Well, that's what I'm very curious about. The criticism of Marx is that he had these solutions, and I have yet to find him predicting or prescribing any kind of social organization. I don't believe that anyone in current active countries calling themselves communists are Marxists. I don't think they're state fascists.
I'm assuming you have to have read the Communist Manifesto by Marx and Engels.
Yes, I have.
I mean, this is relatively fast read. It's only 30, 40 pages. And it's a clear political call to action. I mean, it reads like a barnstorming, fist-thumping speech.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what it was. But it certainly didn't prescribe any kind of social relations after there was a revolution.
It was pretty explicitly calling on the proletariat to rise up.
Oh yes, yes, but that's just to get them involved in the political process, which is not really what he wanted anyway. I mean, he was pretty much convinced that the current bourgeois society wasn't going to allow a communist takeover.
Sure.
So, but beyond that, he didn't prescribe how we would actually live in society and all of those things. And he certainly had nothing to say about using certain underdogs as a vehicle. You know,
right.
I mean, we all wished that in the 60s that the war had been a vanguard for some kind of change, and that black people and that, whatever oppressed group there is, we hope that they would be a vanguard to some kind of change. But it has nothing to do with a clear-cut social plan for how we're going to organize everybody. I mean, that's absolutely absurd.
Yeah. Okay. You're as a Marxist, I defer to your judgment. I read Marx 30 years ago, and I have a vague familiarity with Marx's writings.
Right.
I cannot cite him chapter and verse, and I'm guessing you can. What?
Well, no, I can't because he's very difficult to read. But
yeah, that was my problem.
His commentary on social relations, as far as how some ideal societies might have been in the past. For example, they were very interested in the Iroquois Indians, but he and Engels and wrote about them. That here's a primitive society as an example of primitive communism, but it certainly wasn't a prescription that we should live like Iroquois.
Marx wrote about the Iroquois?
Oh, absolutely. Well, Engels did, and Marx probably read about it.
Oh, okay.
Knew about.
When did and where did Engels write about the Iroquois? I'd love to read that.
I wish I could give you the exact book, but it was I believe in the one about he talks about early economics systems. Yeah. He talks about I'm sorry, I can't tell you.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
But he cites this as an example of
net, Carl, as a Marxist, what would your prescription be for our society? If I can preface this by just laying out mine, I think that the Great Society was just half done. I think that if we were to really, really genuinely strengthen our school system and provide free education all the way up to a PhD or MD to everybody, regardless of poverty and regardless of race, make sure that everybody gets a good education. If we were to provide a basic social safety net so that even people in poverty can live at the bottom of the middle class, as it were, and not have to be in continual stress and panic about whether they're going to make it through the next day, or the next week, if we could provide a good healthcare system for everybody, so people aren't afraid that if they get sick, they're going to lose everything they have. If we could provide an opportunity to participate in some form of economic intercourse, whether it's owning a small business or whether it's creating a cooperative or joining a cooperative, starting something like that, all of those things are going to take a lot of money and a lot of effort. And if we did that collectively as a society through our government, I think it was specifically targeting people of poverty, and that's mostly white people in places like West Virginia, and people of color in those places where poverty equals color, then I think we might be able to come out of this stuff. And I think that's what Lyndon Johnson started doing. Do you think I'm right?
And absolutely. As a Marxist, I agree that progress is one step at a time. We're not going to have utopia ever, probably, but we certainly can work towards a better society. And as a Marxist, I know that we do have the power to do that, and that our relationships to our productive system in this country is a fascist state, because the capitalists do control the Congress and they do control local governments to a great degree.
Right, which is literally the definition of fascism.
We're not talking about a democracy here. We're talking about a fascist state.
Yeah, I agree with you, Carl.
Among many.
Carl, we got to hit a break here, but thank you for the call. I guess I'm a Marxist too. It's like, thank you for the call. Thank you for the information. I'm telling you, we have the smartest listeners on earth. I am so proud to hang out with y'all.